Hello, everybody. Welcome to King Shed Talk. I am your host, Salid. Thank you for joining me for another hot topic. We got Mark James St. Patrick in the building. What's good, Mark?
You got his king.
We got Kia D in the building. How you doing, Queen?
I'm good. Hi, everybody.
Look at king and queen. Look at that. How y'all doing, black folk?
We got Southside Dre might be on his motorcycle on the way. But if he gets here in time, we'll throw him up in here because this is going to be like one of those Speedy Gonzalez broadcast because all of us have something to do. And frankly, y'all, I'm tired. I am beat. I've had oh, there he is. See, I told you the motorcycle pulled up quick.
You late?
What's good,
No,
Dre?
I ain't late.
he ain't never late. He right on
You
time.
know what I'm saying? Hey, it's divine timing, man.
That's right. That's right. But
What's up, y'all?
Ain't nothing. I was just letting everybody know that it's gonna be one of those Speedy Gonzalez episodes because I'm extremely tired. And another reason too, when I was searching out hot topics, 80% of the things that I was finding for us to discuss are not quite my lane because they were so drama filled. They could get
Right.
so spicy. And I
Right.
only like my food spicy. So but the things that we are gonna discuss tonight, they might get a little bit steamy, but not too bad. Now, since this Kiki Palmer thing has blown over now, what did you all feel about that?
Who's gonna go first?
You keep queens always go first.
Mark looked like he
All
had
right.
something to say, but the ladies go first.
So I feel like he should have addressed whatever concern he had with her in private. I also think that he's been showing her off all this time with no issues. And now all of a sudden you're a mother. So I think if he had an issue, it's okay for him to feel some type of way, but don't address her in public. Don't shame her in public. He could have said something later. He could have pulled her to the side later and be like, look, I know I was okay with this when you left. However, that made me uncomfortable. I think that's what he should have done. And then we don't even know really if he saw her leave the house. Like, that's just not enough information, really. So I don't know.
I feel you.
For me, I think it's the overplay for the underplay. If you think about it, Usher's been in the
Yeah,
news
I agree.
with Chris Brown, with the fight incident. Um, Kiki left the house like that, and all of a sudden, on the wake of this incident, Usher Raymond's ex-wife wants to drain Lake Lanier. So what I think it is, I think another part that we don't, two things. One, if you can't handle the attention that Beyonce gonna get, don't date Beyonce. This is a star. Don't date a star. And then when stars have to do what stars have to do to keep their money coming in, don't get jealous. Two, as regular folk, we got to know that sometimes this is a production. Sometimes this is it. Usher has not had didn't get enough traction. He didn't get a positive reaction from skating with Chris Brown, and so his wife probably couldn't campaign for the drainage of Lake Lanier. So I think the other thing is you got to realize how people move in certain situations to to capitalize on it later. I think this was just a capitalistic opportunity for Kiki to get her name out there. So because she's been Kiki young girl Palmer to us. She ain't been a hot girl. So this is her to me, one, her making her brand known as she still has influence. Two, I think it's her changing the narrative of how we see her. And three, I think it's a publicity stunt for like Usher's camp to be able to advertise or make moves later.
Yeah.
Well, do you think
I,
it was Do you think ushers count? Go
Am I
ahead,
delayed,
Dre.
y'all? Am I delayed?
No, his service is glitchy right
Yeah,
now.
a little bit, but you good.
Okay. Well, I agree with both of you guys. I agree with both of y'all because I think first, Kia, as you were saying, he shouldn't have. Of course, he shouldn't have went public with his concerns about how she was dressing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was an issue that he had, then that's something that you kind of take care of with your person in private. And Mark, yeah, it's celebrity shit, man. Like, it kind of just that's how it goes. Me, when it first happened, the first thing that came to my mind was women can dress however they want. They can dress as provocative as they want to. It's really none of my business how women dress. Now, my woman is probably gonna dress a different way, not because I made her, not because, not even because it's an expectation, but because if I choose a certain type of woman, which I believe, and pictures, kind of started popping up from the past, that he knew that this is how Kiki would dress like this. You know what I mean? And he knew. So why do you have an attitude about it? I mean, which kind of goes to your point, Mark. It seems like, I call BS because you know how this if you know how what I mean, we know how each other are, our partners are. Why are we gonna trip about it? You know what I mean? Like when it happens and all of a sudden you went through the roof, you took 100 over something that we literally seen you contribute to, been a part of. Like, what's wrong? Like, bro, like at the end of the day. And then, like I said, and then to make a scene or a mockery of yourself, I'm just not understanding how women finna kill you, bro, by telling them how to dress. So at the end of the day, yeah, it was just, I think it was a lame move by him. And just at a higher level, I believe that, women can dress however they want to. It's just, how is your woman gonna dress at the end of the day? You know what I mean? And you should know that based on your experiences with that person. Shoot, usually people that put on stuff like that, they did that early on, early and often. So you kind of know what's up.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only one that's really wrong in this situation is old boy. Outside of us not really knowing what his relationship was with Kiki as far as that kind of stuff go. Now, if they had a conversation and he had already voiced how he felt and she was just like, F you, I'm gonna do it anyway, that's something else. But as far as it stands right now, I think that old boy is wrong for calling her out like that, in front of everybody. Because you're right, you do know, or you're supposed to know who you're with. You're supposed to know who you're with.
He was a couple times recently, he was in some DMs. In the past, he's been on TV shows showing off the yams. And so one of the things is,
see, I ain't know nothing about dude until this happened.
And that's what I'm saying. And then that's the third point I was gonna make. You are a nobody trying to tell somebody how to act in front of everybody. That's me dating T-Boz or Nikki and telling them, hey, no, you my girl now. You can't be out there like that. You got it. Don't date that kind of caliber of woman if your heart gets Twitter pated easy. That's all I'm gonna say.
To add, Mark, so to kind of piggyback on that and to kind of speak on, now a lot of women did come out, right? And basically kind of say what you're saying a little bit, but it was a little bit worse. Like, she the breadwinner, you need to sit down somewhere and shut up, basically. And I heard I guess a point of view from a woman that basically said misogyny is only bad when you're the victim. Misogyny is only bad when you're the victim. So women came out saying you need to sit down, like the same thing that men would do to women. Yeah. And women have a problem with it. But women came out in droves saying, hey, you need to sit down somewhere. She make all the money.
Got a serious Gabrielle Union.
So I mean, at the end of the day,
Isn't that what Gabrielle Union did to her ex-husband? She cheated because she was the breadwinner.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
So I think it's bad.
Yeah.
And ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Yeah, it's wild. But I think a lot of times we get lost in those moments because we thinking about it from our own personal selves, like what benefits us, or am I the victim in this? But like I said, it was a woman's point of view. She was like, hey, we can't get mad because now if we getting the money and we start treating men the way that men treated us that we didn't like, then was it really bad treatment to begin with, or it's just we can't wait to get our turn? You know what I mean? So,
or we can't handle what we put out.
Right.
I think we shame women. Oftentimes, women guilt men into compliance, and men shame women into compliance.
I like that.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't know. And then I think
I can see that.
it didn't help.
Yeah, I can see that. But
picture himself in his boxers or some shit like right after that, then deleted it. Like, nigga, you talking about you're a father. Put some damn clothes on. Why you got your bits out, sir? Like,
Hey, the only reason why I knew him, I ain't gonna lie. Now, the first time I ever seen Buddy, he had on some badass
that man was
Gucci
hurt.
joggers. He had on some badass Gucci joggers. Them shit was cold though. They was doing a photo shoot. Him and Kiki was doing a photo shoot. That's the first. I still don't know who he is.
But that's when he was grabbing her butt and like he
That's
in
okay.
he
that
touched
so
her,
that
like, he
Okay.
was in a cat suit and he recorded her shaking her ass in the cat suit. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be mad. Like, I just don't understand the outrage. Like, what are you upset for? And then I have morals and all. Sir, you pumped her with a baby and you didn't marry her. And you talking about a wife and she ain't your wife.
Yeah.
but you ain't a father putting your baby mama out there like that either.
Right.
So
Priceless.
you know she got the assets, and you not want to get if she got the assets, you don't chase the assets and then think everybody else ain't looking at the assets. I'm just saying, let me get the win.
Because I was looking, and just like when we outside, like that's why I say I don't care about what women wear. It's just I'm not going to be seen with that myself. That's me. But that's an understanding that we're going to have before.
But Southside, here's the other part.
Exactly.
Here's the other part. I think that everything is being undisclosed. One, even if your woman does dress like that, you got to trust her to be able to go out and have fun. To me, it's like, when we were young and we be on the floor, we dancing with a girl and we thought we was in love, and to her, it was just a dance. So you got to think of that too. And two, you got to realize Usher got that lifelong luggage. So
Oh yeah.
I don't care. I don't care how much you dance with me, buddy. This is an absolute no. you can take your shirt off, your drawers off. Once I see that, what are those? It's a wrap.
Cold-blooded, boy.
But even on the other side of that, though, it's not always only about the dude not wanting the woman to wear a certain thing. Because we've been in clubs before. We know how some guys can get ignorant. So sometimes it's the men trying to look out for their darn woman, saying, hey, this kind of heat can come at you. I don't want that coming at you. Because I've been in those situations before where the woman was dressed modestly. The woman was dressed modestly and dudes still get out of pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what we wear, to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's what I was about to say. You could get a DP in the whole DMs, and all you got to do is have a face pick.
Right.
But it don't matter, but it do
That's
matter.
it.
No, come on.
No, hey,
That's not fair. I don't agree.
I hate to say it. No, it's unfair. Like, it's really unfair, but you can't tell me that when you see a woman and she got her whole ass out, that you don't look at that a little bit differently from a woman that's I know I would. I'd be like, damn.
I'll snitch on myself right now, but I don't want to incriminate anybody. And I'm gonna say, bruh, I've been looking, and you could be a whole librarian, and I'd be like, I'm a juke my shot.
No, right. But even your trajectory with that is a little, it can be a little, well, for me, I'm gonna speak for myself, it can be a little different. Like at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Like if we go to a strip club, right? Even in the strip club, if you're in the strip club, the strippers dancing and all this stuff, they got their clothes off, right? That's different treatment at the end of the day.
And so I think this, to me,
You choppy, Dre.
Me? Am I choppy to everybody or
No, I think
not to me.
Yeah, because it's storming there or about to.
So for me, here's the thing. I think there are two types of courage. I think there's dress courage, where it lets you think, oh, she dressed this way, you can do it. And I think there's liquid courage, which do it. And the rest of us, I think, just have the courage. Because I'm going to approach you. I think there's some dudes out there who are just going to talk the way they going to talk no matter what you dress. I think some dudes who talk because of the way you dressed, and some dudes talk because of what they had to drink. So I think that level, at the end of the day, ask a woman, they have dressed regular and they get that aggression. They have dressed scandalous and they get that aggression. It's just some dudes just gonna be reckless.
For me, pregnant and dudes were like, showing belly sticking out, and
some people like that shit.
Talk to me, and it was like, I'm pregnant. Are you happy though?
Nigga. Yeah, some men on that.
What?
Some men on that.
What?
Yeah. Some men on that.
You can't get no more pregnant. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Some men on that. But
when
even with the dress,
you got a little soft spot right up in here. It could be my kid. If he got the little, if he's 13 with a soft spot, that may be my fault.
Well, you Bob, boy.
He 21 years old, still got a cradle cap. That could be. I could have been hollering at the girl.
Hey,
if he's born with a yarmulke, if he need a yarmulke when he born, as you know, I support the Jewish community. That's just all I'm saying.
That's cold-blooded.
Hey, Miss Cherry, how you doing?
That's cold-blooded.
Hey, Danica, thanks for tuning in.
But I'll say this, as far as me.
Nikita said I have.
As far as me.
Yeah, Nikita said I have all types of pics on my social media, and they try it no matter what I look like. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Well, to some guys it don't. But I'm just saying, like, for me, this is the thing. I stick to what I said before. If I see a woman dressed in a certain way, then that's an automatic detractor for me. I'm not even going to pursue it because I'm just, that's a perception thing for me. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's the image. I don't want first, if we're thinking about the long game, I don't want to go the long way with somebody that's going to be dressed like that because I don't want it around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be attached to that. It's just me. That's my preference. Like, if we ain't at the beach or something like that, and if we're at a club, I don't want everybody that's, you know what I mean? That's just not my bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what we got on Kiki's subject. But in other news,
what's next?
Tiana Taylor is the first Black woman on Maxim's Sexiest Woman Alive list. Y'all good with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
I think she shouldn't have. It should have been more than just her, but
So what is it? What is it?
Maxim. It's a great magazine.
Yeah, I know the magazine.
Yeah. She's first, I think the first Black woman to be on there is the Sexiest Woman.
Yeah. That's weird for me. It's weird for me because it's like in ways she got it, but then I'd be looking at I tell you what, and she's a pretty lady. She has a really hard face though.
She's androgynous. That's all. She's very androgynous.
It's strong, ain't it?
I ain't gonna call her strong, but
no, I'm just it ain't no disrespect in that. I'm just saying, like, I've seen people, it's almost like, how women who bodybuild and their face, you know what I mean? It just looks a little, strong or whatever. That's really, but
so you think she has strong facial features?
Boom. That's it. She's still pretty to me though.
To me, she represents a Erykah Badu, a Rihanna, a Michelle Obama. I think two things about it. One, I think we got to get out the habit of saying the first. And the same, like when you meet somebody or describe somebody, we describe them by their ethnicity. I think we got to stop doing that. And I think the other thing is we got to start embracing new beauty or the full rainbow of beauty.
Maxim did it.
No, I agree. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think we have to embrace the full range of beauty, and that way it won't take as long. If you think about it, Lizzo's cute. Her behavior is ugly. Monique is cute. Her behavior makes you look at other things. But I think as we embrace the full range of and spectrum of beauty, then we'll see it faster or more.
Right.
If you think, I think, let me say it this way.
She's beautiful too. She is beautiful.
What
Really,
now? What you say about Lizzo?
I said she's a beautiful girl. Her actions, I think, make her more unattractive than that. I'll say this so you can see what my thought process. Caitlyn Jenner became the most beautiful woman her first year a woman because people were willing to enlarge their spectrum of acceptance. I think in our community we have to do the same thing in beauty so that we can get on platforms sooner as to trying to mold and make it a Kelly Rowland or a Beyonce, a Jada Pinkett or a Vanessa Williams. I think if we can broaden our look and we can see that for women, Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, they not unattractive chicks. They may not be like, 12s, but they are attractive in a certain, light.
I get you. Yeah. Now, Mark, Caitlyn Jenner didn't get that for that reason.
Wasn't most beautiful.
You know why? You know why that happened.
But what I'm saying, they expanded the spectrum.
Okay.
That's all. I'm not saying what the criteria for the spectrum should be. I'm just saying as we expect. Yeah, we all know who Pinky is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Pinky.
Yeah.
Pinky.
The porn star Pinky.
Yes. Pinky. Oh, brother.
No idea.
Okay.
No.
You're the only one on here hey man, you gotta
okay.
You gotta broaden your horizon.
Is she old school or new school?
She's a different caliber, like Lizzo. But what the point I'm saying is she's about the same size as Lizzo. She had her run, and most people accepted it, all her flaws, but she was a cute chick.
Now, Mark, she didn't start out that flawed as it might look now.
She looked different.
No, she didn't.
She looked different.
She looked different now. I mean, we aged, but she looked different.
But I'm saying she was always a bigger girl. You may not want to look at it with us on the screen.
What has Lizzo done outside of dressing like shock value the way she dressed? Because her actions aren't that out there, right?
I don't know. I think to me it just seemed like people don't like the way she dressed because she's a bigger girl.
And she makes doggone good music.
She makes really good music.
I don't know.
Right, and so the thing is, and that's what I'm
addressing though, because
right, and so that's what I'm saying. But we are unaccepting of her weight as a part of our community on a grand scale. On a grand scale in our community, beauty becomes a part of weight. Weight becomes a part of beauty.
What you're basically saying is when Lizzo popped out with the thong, everybody was like,
oh, put some clothes on. You too big.
Right.
Right. But Pinky popped out the same way and nobody said a thing.
Wait a minute, let's not compare. It's a little bit different.
No,
Pinky-
it's both. No, they both entertainment purposes.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Pinky gave us. See, here's the thing. I think you living off the legacy of Pinky, but original Pinky, bro, wasn't Lizzo at all, right?
I'm talking, but she was a thicker girl. I'm saying
the proportions though, the proportions, boy, that waist to booty ratio, different.
Okay.
Completely different.
Oh, but what I'm saying is, in our community, beauty starts to get beauty. Okay, beauty starts off in your face.
Yeah.
Then it goes to your waist. Well, more to your beauty, then the booty, then the waist. So if you could have an eye right there. If you got a nice booty, she's still cute.
Yeah.
If she could be cute and she could have an eye right here, but if she got a belly and a booty, she ain't cute no more. I think we got to range it out to where it's really a real spectrum, so that when you get Miss Taylor, we can get Miss Taylor there sooner, instead of trying to make it a Halle Berry, make it a Kelly Rowland, make it where you have to fit the soft feminine features, because Grace Jones is attractive. Naomi is attractive. These are, to me, women with the same strong features.
Salid, you wildin', boy. Hey, speak your piece, man.
I'm the first one to say that it's in the everybody thinks differently about different things, and I'll leave it at that.
Hey.
Right, but here's the only thing though, King, and this is the truth. They think different because as long as the majority holds the weight, we can't embrace it.
Yeah.
We can't grow. Naomi Campbell is a gorgeous woman, but a lot of us didn't embrace that for a minute. What's the real? I can't think of her. The real dark one, the new model who's really.
Now she's pretty. I know who you're talking about.
But because of the color, it took us a long time to accept. She is, but acceptance, I guess, is the harder thing. And if we broaden the spectrum, I think we can get to acceptance sooner.
I think it has a lot to do with
what you're saying.
Standards of beauty too, though.
Yeah.
Right, but if we expand the standards of beauty, then the standard.
Us, if we just keep it real, that magazine is not for like Black people. It's like, no.
I probably bought the first Maxim magazine. Maxim
aren't based on
soft porn
women. Their standards are based on European, not based on us. So.
And I think Maxim is geared toward men anyway.
Right. But so here's the thing. While we saying the standard of beauty, everybody found Marilyn Monroe attractive. Everybody. So I think the thing is, we also through colorism, we also through body shaming, we also help perpetuate that standard.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like Mark has grown last month.
I absolutely agree with that.
Say what, kid?
I know, right? All it took was 30 days.
I know. I said Mark has grown.
All it took was 30 days. Look, he looking up like we on the Brady Bunch.
I've been the same person for the last. I'm still that dude.
This is a new Mark.
Keita said, "Now I come Gotwich."
Right.
Oh, that's her name. Okay.
Gotwich. Yeah.
Yeah, she darker than the backdrop, but it's taken us to see Dennis Rodman the way he is. It's taken us to see Kanye act the way we are now starting to accept that we got that lazy dog in us. We got the dog, but crazy dog.
It's a crazy. Hey, I just said it the other day. I mean, man, social media is full of insanity, bro. Full of
And we got to embrace it because the truth is we need that. We absolutely need it. We absolutely need Flavor Flavs in our life to know how we ain't going to act, boy.
Flavor Flav is an extremely talented brother, though.
And got lots of kids. So beauty is definitely.
The nut.
Yeah. Your boy, but on from that though, your boy made an appearance. What y'all think about Jamie Foxx?
He needs to recover. Let that man.
Do you think something was really going on with? Cause we hear a lot of conspiracy theories.
Maybe. He's a celebrity. Like,
yeah, all that shit weird, man.
Yeah, like
it is.
I'm starting to fall into the true conspiracy. The FDA just allowed lab-grown meat to be sold in restaurants. I'm under the full impression that this government was doing exactly what Michael Jackson said when he said they don't really care about us. So we knew
that though.
Easy. But the truth is, we
knew that. Scoop said Flavor Flav. Scoop, that's right. Scoop said Flavor Flav can fluently play 9 instruments. That's facts. The man's dope. He said, "I hope they didn't clone Jamie." I don't think they cloned Jamie. I don't believe that. What would be the purpose? What would be the purpose?
Have you seen what ChatGPT does?
Who?
ChatGPT. Y'all gotta get
that for the porn, dude.
No, ChatGPT is the new AI where you can say, write me a book on love, and it will scan the internet and start writing you a book.
Oh, wow.
The purpose of cloning people via chat with the new AI, deep fake and all of this, do you know which way you can influence the world? If you can literally create a Jamie Foxx that will do what you say?
Right. So it's influence, control.
More control. If you think about this right here, if you took TD Jakes right now and TD Jakes said in one of his sermons that lab-grown meat was healthy, how many of his congregation members would fund that?
Right.
Yeah. I feel you, but we don't like something like that. You don't even really need anybody to influence nobody because they could throw that in the stores and not even tell us it's lab grown.
Right. But if so here's the thing, and this is the reason why I said that. If you do that and then you have all these stars take an inoculation during a certain pandemic, then will we not?
Safe. All of a sudden it sounds safe.
Now it sounds safe. The zombie pandemic is on its way out here for you might need a clone of Jamie Foxx.
Man, I'm so ready for the zombies. That's a whole nother story though. But
hey, I got somebody to link up with on the zombies. Bro.
I've been doggone collecting.
You know they found a zombie gene, right?
Yeah.
And Fauci was
I've been collecting stuff for about 3 years.
Bruh, I know. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, my zombies can't swim, so I'm going out to the ocean. I'm just
let me tell you,
I'm gonna have to get eaten by a zombie shark.
You've been watching The Walking Dead.
Yes. And I hope that if the zombies come, they just like those on The Walking Dead.
I hope for me, what I hope they not like the White Walkers. Because then we can
I don't want them like them I Am Legend things. I don't need them like that. I don't need them like that.
Or I don't need them like World War Z. I'm straight.
Yes. Keep that. But off the zombie talk, because I might get scared in a minute. Off the zombie talk. Channel, I think I'm saying it right. Channel Lewis was sentenced to life in prison for the rape and murder of Karina Vetrano in 2016. He has he has some mental issues. They already know that he got some mental issues. Now he's been having a rough time in prison because he hasn't had any running water to shower and stuff for over a month. Somebody wrote and said his toilet didn't work for about 3 or 4 days. They didn't feed him for about 4 days, stuff like that. Now, when it comes to that, whether you have mental issues or not, do you guys feel like those harsh conditions are just a part of prison life, or should people be doing something to make things better in there as far as, you know, the prisoners living and stuff?
I'm gonna say this. I'm split down the middle because I've had a lot of friends go and say, "Man, I can do 10 years on my head," and that's because these are comfortable 10 years. If America makes this stuff uncomfortable, when I was in Japan, if you got into an accident as your first year driver, you are 100% at fault. If you were in an accident period any year after that, you're automatically 10% at fault. So and if you go to prison or jail, your first time going to jail is 5 years in a 5x5 with fish heads and rice. Do you know how many people
where is this?
Japan, Okinawa, to be specific. Do you know how many accidents they have a year? They have less than 200 car accidents a year because the penalties are harsh. And so the problem is this. I think the thing is if America actually practiced true punishment with crime instead of slapping people on the wrist, we would have a lot less crime. That's just me. So I think it's inhumane, but I think it's a part of it.
I think it should
Here's where I am with that though. If you not letting somebody bathe for a month and not having a toilet working and not feeding somebody for 4 days, that goes beyond harsh punishment because you're already in prison. And it's people doing 10 years, 15, 20 years to life that still do worse than they did when they were in the street. So, I mean, how harsh can the punishment be to where it actually changes?
King, here's my honest. If you did that to my daughter, I don't care if you ever bathe again.
Well, yeah, as the victim, you feel that way. But I'm saying though, if let's say you were wrongly accused, but you get treated like that in
there. Being split down the middle is kind of, I guess that's kind of where I would land. And the analogy with, you know, Japan, that's eye-opening. I'll say that's eye-opening.
Yeah.
But it's just tough, man, because even when we talk about like the death penalty, right? And you look at it like when somebody does something wrong as a victim, like you said, Salih, of course, you kind of don't care as the victim. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I mean, it's still another human being at some point. You know what I mean? Like, so that level of mistreatment, and I don't know what the line is because there's probably, even what you're saying, there's probably worse stuff that's going on in prison than that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But so, and here's the thing. Now, my issue with prison as far as treatment goes would probably begin at violent felonies versus, you know, non-violent felonies. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't think that you should mix the rabbits with the wolves. You know what I mean? If nothing else, like there are people, you know, if you go to jail because you had traffic tickets and, you know, you're on probation and you had a warrant out and now you end up in jail with murderers and stuff like that. It's like, it's complete apples and oranges. So that's what make it kind of tough for me as far as the treatment. Because you're right, Mark. Like you're right, because I mean, we do see pics. I do know guys that's got PlayStations. You know what I mean? They got their PlayStation.
Yeah, it's guys in prison. It's guys in prison with TikToks and everything.
You know what I'm saying? So that kind of shifts the argument another way. But that's a deep one, man, because it's probably going to be more so case by case situations as far as it involves the prison. And you probably, certain prisoners that probably need a little bit harsher treatment. I'm not saying they need to not eat for 4 days or not be able to bathe and stuff like that, but it probably should differ. Like if you was in jail for some type of, fraud or something that didn't really hurt nobody. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you stole some money some kind of way from a bank or something. I don't know. I don't know if you need to be in there with, violent criminals or something like that, So, but I don't know.
And then too, let's keep in account now, he has a mental issue.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't even
And
know.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be in prison, because as the research that I did, it looks like they were saying that some of the evidence was done wrong or hidden or something like that. But as far as we know right now, it looks like he actually did what they say he did. So I'm not saying he shouldn't be incarcerated, but I don't know. What were you gonna say, Kia?
No, I don't think so. Prison is supposed to be where you send people to rehabilitate them. I don't think that happens. My brother's been to prison. All my brothers have been to prison. I have one brother who he came out of prison worse than what I think with that particular situation, they should get the basic necessities, right? The basic, like not feeding him for 4 days, not having a toilet, like that's inhumane, and that is to me abuse. He ain't gotta have a PlayStation or a phone, you know what I'm saying? But just the basic, feed him rice and beans. So that's how I feel about just the basic necessities. That's it. Properly rehabilitate criminals who have mental issues, or at least try. Sometimes you can't help them, but
the reporter said a felony is a felony. She said a felony is a felony. I worked in a prison for 10 years. They have social media as well, but they still within are separated. Nikita said they're resentencing him because he didn't get what they wanted him to get. Dahmer didn't get death, so they killed him in prison. Yeah, that's true. They lit Dahmer up. Ms. Porter said they aren't just thrown in a basket and a number is picked. They are separated and classified. And prison is to rehabilitate, but that's not truly what you get. Unfortunately, inmates will tell you they don't have this and that, but they do. And so much is happening behind the scenes, and they be lying. They sell their stuff for drugs, etc. Yeah, it's probably all kinds of stuff that goes on.
Many layers.
Now, this particular case, they said that it was other inmates that were writing outside of the prison saying, "Hey, they treating this dude in here bad," and they were telling the stuff that was going on. And the reason they looked at the prison is because it corroborated with the story that he was saying after the fact. So I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like
they didn't record him. Yeah, they didn't record him for 4 hours of 11 hours during the time he was in custody. So they questioned him for 11 hours, and for like only 7 hours, they let people see. So
for me, the truth is, I want us to treat people who want to be better, but at the same time, I think we need a harsher upfront penalty up front, which would deter people. So we all know the block is hot. And you know what? Yeah. Why we know the block is hot? Because we don't go to the block. And if you don't want to find out how bad prison can be, learn to guard your emotions. Learn to do some of the things that it takes. So for me, again, he wouldn't have to worry about none of this stuff if he wasn't in these predicaments. People wouldn't have to worry about some of these conditions. You don't have to worry about if the police officer did you wrong in certain, I ain't saying in all situations, but if you obeying the law and you doing stuff, we know this country's been like this. So we can avoid some of this by our own actions, our own recognizances. And so to not govern yourself and then ask your jailer or the prisoner to treat you better, as 6 of one, half a dozen of the other for me.
Yeah, the only caveat that I have is the mental issue component.
Well, I can yeah. And I can tell you this, Sport. The only thing that I feel like will probably deter criminals is if it starts being like in certain other parts of the world where you steal something and they cut your hand off, that kind of stuff. Other than that, because just prison time is not deterring these jokers.
Or if you get again, now I'm a show. This is what I'm saying, and I'm gonna bring up a little. Or if you get 9 years for bringing weed into my country, it'll start deterring you. If you something has to be a deterrent, and America is we're too soft on people to then ask people to be better people. Like, don't whip your kids, but ask them to be really great kids. Don't get a great lawyer to get off on a DUI so you could drink again. But then we mad at people when we're a nation of hypocrites, in my opinion. And to me,
but that starts from the top, though, Mark. Like,
of course, yeah.
America ain't gonna do that because America want the weed to come in.
Right, so, but what I'm saying is, in our community, for me personally, if we can't say all lives matter if we don't treat our lives like they matter. While it comes from the top, I think it comes from the bottom as the top, and the people in the middle are confused. That's why I think I'm on both sides, because the people in the middle is like, yeah, I want the same grace that they got, but for another person, I want them to get a harsh punishment. So I think if we at the bottom held to certain standards, like the Black Panthers did, like the original Vice Lords and all of these gangs originally started, if we hold that standard, then at the top they'll hold the standard with us. That's what I believe.
Right. It's just, for me, just thinking about like the example with the weed or drugs. Well, we all know, we watch Snowfall, so we see what that was about. It was a push. They're gonna figure that out. But now the punishment, unfortunately, what we find is the punishment on people that look like us. It's always harsher. It's always going to be more, regardless of what it is. Because let's think about this. Like, even you use the analogy with Japan. So, Japan is, if America decides to take some of this stuff on, who do you think gonna get hit with most of that? The same way it's happening now. That's why we populating the prison so much the way we are. Because
so I'm smart right now, and if I was going to sell drugs, and I know I'm about to deal with the DOJ, I'm going to get me a non-compete or a non-disclosure or something, so that the same way other people. Dave Chappelle did a skit where he was negotiating as the drug dealer when he was going to come down. He said, "I'll be down there tomorrow, but I run into some poot that I had to, like they do the mayors and when they indict him." I think the other problem, or the answer to this is while they want it, at some point we get to say no, don't we?
Yeah. It's not you. It sounds, and that sounds. It's all you sound kind of like, what was the first lady that said just say no when it was us?
No. Now let me tell you this. This is coming from. I was like kind of like Jay-Z. I did, and then I got out because I saw the block being too hot.
Right.
And so I think that the problem is this, and this is what I tell a lot of my friends: you never make a bad decision. You make an uninformed decision. So as long as you think you can get away with it, you're gonna stay on the block. But at the end of the day, what doesn't click in you and say, you know what? Everybody gets caught. Every dog has his day. So I think a problem is we got to stop going, and we got to stop staying so long, and we got to start negotiating.
That's a pure
I'm gonna
fact.
tell you what. I'm gonna tell you, my bad, Dre. I'm gonna tell you what a big problem is, though, with how we're filling up these prison systems. And the fact of the matter is, majority of criminals know the consequences. They just don't care about them. They just don't care about the consequences. They like, okay, I can be the man out here, and if I go in there, I can possibly be the man, or I can get my stripes, so I can say that, hey, I got locked up, and I can get out. And a lot of them have no code at all, so they figure, okay, if I know somebody, it might come a point where I can darn just give some names and get my time shortened anyway, and I'll be back on the freaking streets.
Yeah.
And
Ms.
that's
Porter
why I
said people don't
applaud
take into
that.
consideration that punishment isn't always just throwing the book at them. People have been in trouble before and occurred felonies. That doubles what you would have received for whatever it is you did this one time.
And
Bass
so this
says,
is where
Brittany, hold on. There's a lot of comments coming in, y'all.
and
Brittany
King,
Griner wouldn't have served nowhere as much time if she was in prison here in the States. Yeah, she probably wouldn't have even went to prison.
Yeah.
Kevin
so,
said, I do believe conditions should be more harsh. That'll definitely make you think twice before committing crimes. However, America sends people to prison at a much greater rate than other countries. Yeah.
I think they shouldn't be. I'm gonna be real. Like, I don't think criminals should get lighter sentences for snitching. Because that's what's going on now.
I don't
Yeah.
Like, that's how,
Yeah. I don't
now you just get to tell.
So here's
it ought to be thank you for the information. Go back to your cell. You know,
right.
That's what
But
you still did what you did.
So I think here's the caveat to it, where we be like, we get unfair sentencing. Bro, they try to make an example. How do you do you see what I'm saying? How do you make an example if you ain't willing to throw the book? But then we complaining that they ain't throwing the book, but then we complain that we won't stop. It's a whole Jenga of reasons, and you can't pull one block out without it toppling. You need to send these dudes like 30 years for a dime bag, and you be like, that's too much. Bro, you saw everybody else get hit. You deserve the 30 years. If 30 years for a dime bag ain't a deterrent, bro, I don't know what is.
Yeah, you need to calm down.
It's something serious. It's something serious, I'll say, but I'm glad it ain't no 30 years for no dime bag.
Bruh.
But
You're wild.
Nikita said the only way it can be controlled is if it's like the movie Minority Report.
Right. But then you got people doing bad cognitive theory. So that's what I'm saying. There's no criminals gonna crim.
all day long.
The reason why we got laws, my mama used to tell me this, and I see it more. Locks is for honest people. Yeah. As a carpenter, the first thing I tell people all the time is like, they be like, I'm locked out. I was like, do you got a window? Because if you got a window in the rock, you ain't never locked out.
That's right.
You $65 away from another window, but you're not locked out the house.
Right.
Baz said another thing is that most prisons are for profit, private-owned correctional centers. I would say all prisons, not most. So they could care less about most prisoners.
But most prisoners could care less about going to prison too.
Yeah. That's true. They just don't care. A lot of them just don't care. But before we move on, I've had somebody waiting on the wisdom app. Andrew been waiting, so I'm gonna let Andrew come up and voice his opinion on what we're talking about right now. How you doing, Andrew? Wonderful. How about yourself?
Great. I just want to say this real quick. You know, I mean, I've been, you know, I've worked in the system, the prison system for more than 2 decades. And, you know, what I would tell you is that if you got an inmate that's in there and he hasn't had food for a few days and his water is turned off, there's a reason for that. They just don't, you can't do that when you're working inside the system, because my guess is probably because his behavior, you know, is preventing him from some of that stuff from happening. So sometimes the inmates, if you have your water on, it might break the sprinkler system and it causes floods. So sometimes you can shut off the individual cell water so that they don't do anything to, you know, flood the tiers, what they call it.
So now
the other thing is, real quick, is on the food front, inmates are required, you know, by law, they have to be provided with 3 square meals a day. They have to be provided with 3 meals a day. So if an inmate has not ate in 2 or 3 days, it's because they didn't want to eat. And usually in that case, the last case scenario in that situation is they'll strap him down and they'll IV him to make sure he's getting something in his body. But that's the last case. So most of the time, the inmates get hungry and just give in and start wanting to eat. So usually what I'm saying in that situation, even the crime he committed and all that stuff, a lot of people think that the staff would treat him worse, but they really can't by law. They have to provide those basics for him, regardless of whatever the crime that he did. His problem in prison is not going to be with staff; it's going to be with other inmates when they come back out.
Let me ask you this, Andrew.
Yeah.
Is that an absolute, like, meaning, like with you saying they have to do A, B, or C? Is that an absolute? Like, is there just absolutely no time when it isn't done for those reasons?
The only time I can ever see something like that happening is if the institution itself is engaged in something that's, the institution would be, checked out.
It's corrupt.
So, yes, the institution would be looked at if something like that happened. I don't know if he's what state he's in, but for something that's pretty severe.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that can't happen, but I'm saying the chances of that happening, nobody working in the institution is, wants to, have to testify or go, and deal with something like that if something was to happen to that particular person.
Yeah.
What is crime? Because that puts the prison in the spotlight, the staff members in the spotlight. No one wants to ever go through that. So, and if there's a situation like that pops up, most of the time, like I say 99% of the time, the staff ain't going to want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can feel that. Well, I appreciate you giving your input on it because you got firsthand experience in it.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also the blue line too,
What do you say?
What you say, Mark?
There's also the blue line where, we in the blue line, like police, there's always the
Cool.
the code of we didn't do it. It's the code red for the military. There's the blue line for. I'm sure there's a line in the prison system where I don't know what TV show I was watching where they put stuff in the food. Yeah, he may not eat for 4 days if you put stuff in the food too.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm not saying that doesn't, something like that doesn't occur, because I'm certain it does. But generally speaking, they have to have access to a meal. Now, lastly, what I'd say real quick on the sentencing and all the different things pertaining to that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of y'all were on point in the sense of saying that some inmates don't care; they're just going to do what they want to do. Well, most people that's out in the street, if they they're under 25, their brain isn't even fully developed yet, so they don't look at consequence.
Yeah.
They might commit a crime and just do what they do and then regret it. So I can tell you, I had over 25 years in, and I can tell you that a lot of the toughest inmates that you see out on the street, that consider to be a problem, at the end of the day, I've seen them at their weakest moments because they start to look back at what they did. They're now 35, 40, 45 years old, maybe 30 years old. They look like their life is, their life is gone.
Yeah.
They never really got to live. So you're right about that sense, but I don't know if the harsher sentences or harsher punishments would deter some of these people, because there's some people running around these streets, especially in big major cities.
Oh yeah.
And if you particularly one, there ain't nothing you can say or do to them that's going to prevent them from not wanting to do what they do.
Yeah.
Some people are just like that. They got to deal with the consequences of it. So they can knock upside the head for 2 decades. That's on them if they want to act out. But there's a consequence for behavior.
Yep.
So, and like I said, a lot of times we don't see what they go through on the inside because the isolation and the wishing they were out with their family, whether they have children or I've seen several inmates, both of their parents died while they were in prison. They couldn't go to the funeral, but that's the consequences. But that's all I want to do. I'll stay back and listen in the background.
Okay, I appreciate you. And Kevin said snitching is too much of a negotiation tool for the law. They catch most of the offenders they want from snitching, not from catching them in the act. Snitching ain't going nowhere. You're absolutely right. It's definitely not, especially when they cutting time and letting some people out all the way because of it. let me see. Let me go through a couple of these comments before we start.
King,
back,
I know I'll snitch. I'm a snitch.
We know. You already told us that, Mark. Miss Porter said security checks are done on the hour, and yes, sometimes they lie and say that they did one, but days absolutely not. Nikita said, "Thank you guys and gal for all the great content. Have a midwife client meeting in the morning. Going to bed. Be safe and good night. Have a great night."
Good night.
Strawberry said, "I feel like the COs need to do their job, and they are the ones that bring everything in, not the prisoners, period."
Facts.
Yeah, the prisoners definitely not walking through the doors, getting it, and coming back. But what else were you saying, Mark, or did you have something to add to that, Dre? Before we move on?
The whole system is corrupt. And you blame it on the felon, but the truth is, I think jail is for people who want to be in jail. I did 60 days, bro, and I'll never go back to jail. I'll snitch on, like, King don't pay his taxes, kids be stealing her tithes and offering. I saw Dre jaywalking, like, so bro, if you had to,
so wait, Mark. So prison did it. Prison did exactly what it was made to do for you, rehabilitate you.
No, bro, I didn't make it to prison. I was in county and learned better.
Hey, 60 days.
Bro, I was in them 60 days. They healed all. I mean, I got a bad boy in me, but he's a controlled bad boy. That motherfucker, I'd be like, man, let me see.
You think about that square, that 3 hots in the cot.
No, bro, not even the 3 hots in the cot, bro. After the pandemic and I couldn't leave the house, bro, you gonna have me in a 10 by 8 for 15 years, my boy? No, everybody got to be
the crime, Mark.
I'm not. That's why I didn't. That's why I don't.
Hey, what if they'd have gave you 6 years, Mark?
Man, I would listen.
Mark was told on everybody. We just said we did something and we weren't even there.
Bro, listen. If I listen, let me tell you what I'd have done. I'd have been like, I'd have pleaded to a lesser charge. I know this sounds bad, and my mama know this, and I told her to her face. I'd have told her my mama not to go to jail, bro.
Okay, wait, hold on. We gotta. Hey, Miss Porter said, "Lord, you got people, family, officers, and contractors bringing drugs, not just officers." Facts. Yeah. They get them in so many kind of ways. Family members bring drugs, contractors bring drugs, bad COs bring drugs. Kevin said, "I heard county is worse than prison." It actually is, Kev. Don't go. my days of going behind the wall are over, brother. But,
listen,
don't go.
Don't go at all. Don't go. But Mark, was that a joke?
I don't think it was.
I think it's serious.
This is why I asked though.
I take back that he's wrong. It's like
y'all watch Kia. Have y'all ever seen The First 48?
Yes.
There was this dude on The First 48 that did something, and while they were interrogating him, he said that he had let his mom borrow his car. So the detective was like, "Come on, bro." He was like, "I'll listen to anything you got to say, but don't put this on your mama." This dude said, "Yo, I really think my mama did it." He didn't even know they had him on camera. This joker was putting it on his mama.
Damn.
Hey, that's bad. Hey.
Are you related to him, Mark?
I'm not gonna tell you if I'd done my videos on First 48, but it could have been me.
Damn.
So
I'll say this: if my mama watching this, you ain't got nothing to worry about, mama. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it, mama. I'll take the time for you.
My mama 75, baby. You ain't got that much time left. Go ahead.
I'm done.
Sit out for these next 10 years. Sit out for these next 10 years.
I'll take that.
I'll make sure I come see you all the time.
Damn. You're doing so good.
Yeah, we going on to the next. We going on to the next subject. Mark done said she's 75. She done lived a good life.
She got one foot out the door. Damn.
Sheesh.
Well, I saw something that said stepfathers are lame. Stepfathers that don't have biological children are lame. What do y'all feel about that?
That's stupid.
Lame. It's a lame statement.
Stupid. Like, how? Did they give an explanation for why they're lame? Because I need more.
Well, they were saying because a man will go above and beyond for children that, don't have his blood.
What if he couldn't have kids? What if he didn't find the right person to want to have kids? That's stupid.
I'm telling you, some of the stuff I see boggles my mind. But
that's like saying adoption is lame.
Right. That's stupid.
You know what I'm saying?
My brother my oldest brother don't have kids, and he's been probably one of the strongest father figures I know. And the person who said that probably has the propensity to have touched or abused by their stepdaddy, and this is their paradigm for stepfathers.
But see, this is why we're talking about it, though, because it wasn't a couple people. The only reason I brought it up tonight is because I was shocked at the amount of support that statement was getting.
That's retarded.
Like, there was a plethora of thousands, who talking about, how can you do?
And to me, it seems weird because somebody actually told me I have my daughter's 7. We all know that. And I was told by somebody who I'm not interested in fucking at all that I'm only good enough to fuck because I have a child. This person is a grown man who's divorced with children, and the mother of his children. Like, wouldn't you want another man to step in? It was just like, first of all, bitch, I cussed him out, but
I'm sure you let him have it.
I put a fire up on his ass, but it's just, why would you? So is that how you feel about the mother of your children? Do you expect men to look at her as something to fuck?
No, he said that.
Like, would you want another man to look at your daughter who may one day have children of her own and see her as something to just fuck? Like, I don't know. That's stupid. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
He does want them to look at her like that, because if you do look at him like that, then you come back to me. So in the grand scheme of things, I think secretly, I think when we go to hurt people or we go to get revenge, we want that revenge to be effective. And again, saying that you ain't worth nothing is kind of shaming you or try to put you in a position to where you're hopefully or mentally not strong enough to say, you know what, you're right. I don't have any better options. I can't do better, and I have to settle for this. So I think, again, like I said, men try to shame women into complying, and women try to guilt men into, if you really love me, you wouldn't. I can love you and still do that. So I think the truth is, or a truth, not say the truth. I think there is a truth where men really do, when they leave and they be cutting off child support and all of that, and you'll never find another man as good as me, or you'll never find another me. You thinking to yourself, I hope I don't. I think men secretly hope that their financial load and their prowess makes it hard enough for you to have to turn and come back.
He said it to the wrong motherfucker.
A lot of clowns feel like that. Yeah, a lot of clowns feel like that. But that's exactly what they are when they have that mind state. To me, clowns.
I was a clown. I was a clown because I sure wanted my money to make her come back to me. So I that's how I know it's true, because I was like, I ain't gonna pay bills, and she moved the hell on, and I was like, well, let's not use that anymore.
Didn't work.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Kev said most of the time it's not the ideal situation. Oh, go ahead, Dre. Go ahead.
Oh no. I'm just go ahead. Read the comments. You good.
Yeah, he said most of the time it's not the ideal situation for a man, but I commend a man for stepping up and raising a child of a woman that he loves. It's a package deal. Got to get with it or get lost. That's facts. It's always a package deal. It should be anyway. I mean, even if you don't um meet the children, in the beginning, because
Right.
I would feel personally kind of awkward if on the first date I'm meeting all the kids too. You know what I mean? Because I know how I am with my kids.
Right. You
So
don't.
you have to as a man though know in the back of your head that okay, she does have children. Prepare yourself for having to step in on that too, depending on where you see yourself with this woman.
Yep.
Tracy
Absolutely.
said only the weak fall for that bullshit.
And I think
You're
as we
actually right.
can't even like that mindset. I understand to us like if you're 20 and feel like some type of way, okay, but you 40, like shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm split. Here it goes where I split because one, I now the way people are, I don't know if I want you a man in there with my house raising kids because of like the dude who had the cameras in the shower over
Yeah.
the girl's daughter. But at the
Right.
same time, I think as
Yeah.
a man too, I gotta respect the partner that I have and hope she's just as cognitive and aware that so I can respect her decision and think that she did do the vetting process. So I mean, I'm again, it's a gamble, and that's why I was hoping the financial piece would bring her back so I can know, I won't do that to my kid. I mean, I won't do that to my kid. I'm a shitty boyfriend, but a good dad. And I think that's one of the weaknesses we all have to work on is I'm a great boyfriend, but I'm a shitty dad. I mean, or a good boyfriend and a great, terrible, whatever your Achilles heel is.
I got
I
you.
think that makes it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now on those same lines, let's talk about this next one. There's also been something going around that's saying that hookup culture is essentially a good thing. What do you guys feel about that? Just doing what you want to do with no attachment.
I think that depends on the person. Like I don't. There's some people. I was just talking about this. I think there are some people who aren't monogamous. Right. Some people they just can't do it, and that's okay. Like live your life, do what works for you. As long as everybody involved agrees and nobody's getting hurt, then live your life however you live your life. And some people are more for monogamy. So I think it just depends on the person. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't care if these people sleep around. Just don't come over here and sleep around. Like that's how I feel.
What you feel about that, Dre?
Hookup culture.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like Kia said, teach his own, man. I mean, from a personal level, women terrify me these days. Like, to be honest with you, man. Like,
Right. Talk about it.
It's too much crazy going on. It's too much crazy. It's like there's no, even when you dealing with some females now in the short term, according to how the relationship goes, it's never that it just didn't work out, right? You know what I mean? Like you can be with somebody, hook up with somebody, and things happen. You grown, right? But it's never that it just didn't work out. It's always you played me, or this and that.
Oh, I got you.
So
all of these other things come into play, and then just dealing with it. Now you got to deal with this emotional roller coaster cycle, even within this situation. You know what I mean? I've been in situations where it becomes very, very frightening to the point where you got to really vet a person. Like, and I say this all the time. Like, even if you considering someone to be your partner or to date them, before I even date a person, I'm gonna watch them in my way, not stalking, but just paying attention to their movement, trying to figure out, what their fuses are. Because people are, I'm telling you, like today more than any, it's actually probably not that much different than it used to be. It's just being exposed more. People aren't well. You know what I mean? Like for real, they're just not right. You know what I mean? So you can't, you never know what's happening. And I see it all the time. Like dealing with a person. It's a scary place. The dating world is a scary place as far as I'm concerned. So hookup culture is probably even worse.
Yeah. Tracy said, do what works for your life, living your truth, to each its own. Very simple. Yeah. That's how it should probably go. But we all know that some things can seem simple to us, but people make them very complicated.
Yeah, I think a lot of people try to impose their own like morality on people too. I don't care. Honestly, even the Keke Palmer, I don't give a fuck that she went to an Usher concert with her booty out. Like,
yeah, me.
who you sis?
I think hookup culture is great.
But I don't.
You think what? What you say?
I think hookup culture is one of the amazing tools. I think it has weeded out the weirdos. Like I date a girl now, and after we hook up, you want to be at my house and keep my car and stuff. I'm glad I didn't invest. And at the same time, like Dre was saying, is when I say, oh, we hooked up and everything, and then I realize you drinking too much and I break up with you, you just wanted to use me. No, you wanted me to accept your bad behavior. So I really do think that hooking up and going through it, to me, the no's are just as important as the yeses.
That's just dating though. I think like when that term hookup culture, that implies people who just like sleep around with a lot of people.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. This is me. I wish women would act like you hit it, would act like dudes hit it. Show me that behavior that you're gonna show me like I hit it, because prior to hitting it, you don't call my phone 24, 34 times a day. Prior to hitting it, you ain't trying to go through my phone. But after I hit it, you wanna try to get a brother's fingerprint in his phone. So I think that I'm just being honest.
Hold on, Mark. Hold on. Now, in their defense with that one, now they ain't got much reason to be doing all of that if y'all ain't connected like that yet. I mean, what reason would they have to be doing all that?
Going through your phone and like concern.
Because I was doing the same thing before I hit it as I'm doing now.
No, you not. Now you are now.
Yes,
you
yeah.
Except for hit.
Yeah, that's the difference. The difference is y'all haven't joined souls yet.
The thing is this, what I'm saying is this. I'm saying I was talking to females, I was being a friend, I was doing what I was doing. There's a lot of people who are doing what they were doing before they hooked up. Now you hooked up and it's a lot. Back in the day, girls would be like, man, you hit it, you my boyfriend. I'm like, no, I just hit it. It ain't, so I think.
Yeah, that'll fix that.
Play your penis.
Stop.
And you won't have these problems.
But that's my point. That's why I said that it's scary. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna go ahead and just take myself out. You know what I mean? Like, and be real. You know what I mean? You got to be real. If I'm a guy right now, I'm single, and I'm trying to date I'm telling you, it's gonna be tough to get to me. It's gonna be tough because
think about the women who say, "Oh, I think like a man, you could just hit it." That's what I'm saying. We love to put the responsibility on somebody without taking responsibility as well. That's what I'm saying is.
So stop all your moves then. Be basic. And you won't have these problems, sir. You giving her all the good.
Oh, you right. Be basic, because women like basic men. They not going after these dudes.
Since you have all the problems, and it all stems back to
what she's saying. What she's saying, Marcus, she's saying put some cut on the D.
Yes.
But if you put some cut on the so hey, here you go. How many girls go back to dudes who cut the D?
Well, then deal with your phone being going.
Hey, Mark, you want them to be digmatized, but you don't want what come with it.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. But no. You want them to be digmatized, but they pretending like they don't turn into the whole Joker and be insane. So the problem is you trying to throw the right D on the right one, but you end up throwing your pearls before swine.
But let me ask you this though, Mark. But is that their issue, or is it the issue of the man that knows this but continues to doggone hop around?
Well, no, because I say it's because they got some women with the macaroni in the pot, and brothers be wanting to climb up her ladder escape and follow her to work and stuff. So I'm just gonna say, can't nobody
Oh my
really
God.
cut it back, because the truth is, it's the problem is this: you ain't never had a Ritz cracker before. So now that you had Ritz crackers, you want Ritz crackers all the time, and she got that. So you gonna be out
I'm gonna
there.
tell you this. I'm
I'm done.
we gonna move on because I thought Mark said something else. So I thought he said rich something. But
I know what you said.
yeah, I thought that's where he went with it. So we're gonna stop that while we're ahead. But now black men are more likely to die of skin cancer due to being diagnosed too late. Why do you guys feel like in today's time it is still so hard for us as men to get checkups regularly and to take care of ourselves? And Dre, I'm gonna start with you because you were just a part of something like that, right?
Yeah. It's pretty simple, man. Like it starts very young. It's a cultural thing. From early on with men and boys, we're taught to be tough, to work through things, and if you fall and scrape your leg, that ain't nothing. Wipe that off. You taught to ignore pain. You're taught to ignore and push through certain things at an early age. We also taught to be quiet, to not express ourselves. Young men are taught to not express themselves because if you express yourself in tears, or if you cry, or you express yourself too much, then you looked at a little funny, right? So it starts there. We breed it there, and then once we start growing up, actually, this is just my personal opinion. I don't believe as a culture, as a black culture, we care as much about black men's health. I just don't believe it's as important. It doesn't get the press. It doesn't get the attention. It just doesn't. And number one, because we don't give it to ourselves. And that crosses a whole lot of genres. We don't advocate. Men don't advocate for ourselves enough in the first place. We don't express ourselves. We don't tell our stories. We don't, let out what we got inside of us often. So a lot of these things contribute to us not going to the doctor. We're afraid to go to the doctor. There's a fear there because we don't want to hear the bad news because we've been programmed that that's what you're going to hear when you go. You know what I mean? We don't have a lot of doctors out there who look like us that can support us in our minds, or we don't seek those out enough. So it's a lot. It's systemic for why it's happening. But I think right now the main issue for that is there's just not enough attention on the health of black men. It's just not enough attention on them. But we see, even we talking about skin cancer. There's so many other things that go untreated or, undiagnosed because we're not going to the doctors and things of that nature because we're just not advocating for ourselves. We're not taking care of ourselves, and, which is why we die earlier. You know what I mean? So it's just a part of the culture. It starts early, man, though. It starts early.
I agree. What'd you think about that, Kia?
I agree. And I think a part of it is a lot of doctors sometimes tend to ignore issues from black people in general, whether it be a man or a woman. Oh, you're all right. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a part of it too, just to add to what Dre said.
What you got to throw on that, Mark?
So I think so I'm on the other end of it. So we were just talking about prison and stuff like that. I think a lot of black men, they got their head down, like you grinding. And so while I got child support, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in these streets. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out my own life. And so what's not concerning to me right now is my health, is stuff like that. I'm worried about paying child support. I can't go to take a day off work to even get a vacation, let alone do I got time to be sick. I got student loans, I got child support, I got rent. I can't afford health care insurance, and I can't afford this medicine to get it. I can't afford, and this right here to me is personal, and I'm gonna say it in a personal way. I can't afford to take another L, and to come out on the back of a bad relationship, bad, vibes with my kids, going through dealing whatever I'm dealing with legally or financially or whatever. I can't afford to now my health be something I'm dealing with. So I think these are, if you add all of this and you mix it up in the basket and you pull out the different aggregates that make your scenario, of course it makes sense that that would be the
It's
outcome.
fear. It's fear. It's what you just said was fear. Take another L. It's fear.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we have to change the narrative, because it's not that. Once
Yeah.
you start learning the different avenues and different practices, because there are doctors out here that won't even diagnose you with anything except for the symptoms of what you're having. What vitamins are you deficient in? They're not going to say you have cancer or
Yeah.
diabetes or whatever. They're going to say they'll do a 15-point check in your system to say this is low, that's low. We need to bring this up at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
that's preventative medicine. So it's a lot of information out here that we just have to start getting out.
And I think when they tell you something's wrong, like kind of like push a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like you have
Oh yeah.
to
Definitely.
keep pushing. Like, okay,
Mhm.
this isn't working. If you're giving me this medication and I'm now some new symptom, like
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's let's take another scenario. And when you say that, a lot of times the number, Chadwick Boseman, sometimes the outcome, no matter how much you throw at it, is gonna be that. So I think there's the other things, like truthfully, right now, if I found out I had something, man, don't treat me. Let me just ride it out. And so I think some of the things are those things where it comes to. And for me, the other conspiracy theory part of it is the Joker theory. They done put it in our chicken and our Kool-Aid and our cigarettes and our beer and our alcohol and our air. So you really giving it to me just to tell me to come back to you later. So I mean, that's where I'm at too.
Yeah, it's just it's ways to maneuver. Like
Yeah. And Bass said a quick. Yeah, he said a quick to dope you up and all the pills and man-made chemicals to keep us sick. Yeah, I'm on the natural kick now. And that could be a whole nother show with how I talk about how I cured congestive heart failure. But hey, I don't take nothing, bro. Not
Yeah.
nothing they prescribed anyway.
Right.
I don't take that. But
and that's about
and Mark, to what you were saying, yeah. And to what you were saying, Mark, about not being able to take the L, I totally feel you. But because I used to think a lot of that way about 3 years ago. And then I started thinking about other stuff. And I'm like, the biggest L I don't want to take is leaving my kids, too early.
100%.
So I got to do whatever I got to do to get this doggone kingdom of mine as great as I can get it. So now I can do better, but I'm on that track to where I can go up a flight of stairs now without having to lay down and count to 30 before I get back up. You know what I mean? Because about 2 years ago, I walked 10 feet and it felt like I walked a mile.
But
And
King,
so I had to go to the doctor and find out all that stuff.
you
Say it
got
again,
your
Mark.
kids. I said you got your kids. Take a man who done had his kids
Yeah.
ripped from him, and she doing all of this, and then you go to the doctor and you get diagnosed with something, and not saying that it's a good thing, but look, if you look at what's his name, the father and son that's going through it on TV right now, Master P and his son, and then Brad McKnight and his kids. They got the resources, but if they found out
Yeah.
when their kids come around, So that's what I'm saying. There's so many different little, you know, if you living for your kids and your kids ain't effing with you, then what you living for? Let me go ahead and just, not even worry about it. So that's what I'm saying. I think these are the things that help prevent men from, or the mindsets, not just even the fear, but the mindsets of my daddy dealt with it, or I don't have no reason to deal with it, so why?
But listen, for everybody out
Yeah.
there, for real, if you
Yeah,
watching,
ultimately,
there are alternative doctors that it's there are things out there, there are resources out there that it's not that. It's not,
Definitely.
you know what I mean? And you
Chinese medicine, herbalists.
yeah.
I mean, and you
bro,
can't have a hot
it's a lot.
toddy to fix everything. You can't have a hot toddy, and you can't have Robitussin, and you can't.
It does fix some things though.
It fixes up, and 420 ain't. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. The other thing is too CBD. I mean, the only answers, it ain't alcohol and flowering up. Flower power is not the only answers. You gonna have to get some
Yes.
like you were saying, Dre. You do have to get your vitamins. You do have to get your bro. You do might have to grow your own vegetables. There's some other cures
Yes.
that we can do. So I'm saying that's what I would believe. It don't mean I subscribe to that method, because me personally, I'm about to grow my own garden this year because I'm tired of paying for corn at 50 cents, and I know it costs that for the whole seeds.
Right.
Well, I think we all should get, in that lane though, for various reasons. It's a lot healthier, and economically it's better. But the final topic that we'll go over tonight, y'all, is funny, but it's serious at the same time. The Secret Service says that it can't ID a suspect for the White House, the cocaine case, and it's closing the case because it said there's no surveillance video available. Now, let me tell you this. That's the White House, right? You can go in Spinks and buy a box of chicken, and they got some video that shows every piece go in that freaking box. But you can't find
and satellites and all kinds of shit.
Yes, but you can't see who had cocaine in the White House.
Well, okay. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna get. Hopefully, it start to come. Maybe they can't see, and maybe how your mama used to didn't was trying to trick you and scare you into doing it. Maybe they really can't see. Maybe they get only watching certain places and they really can't see.
In the White House?
In the White House, look. Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
even think you believe that, Mark.
I absolutely know, because I done got stuff on planes. I done got stuff past people because here's the thing. The truth is, when it's an inside job, you can get what you really want. You can if you think about it, you can really, truly get what you want if you want it.
Yeah, but that don't mean they don't see it. They just not acting on it.
The brother he was getting some in the Oval Office. I'm just saying, to me, is just another place. I think the problem is they can't tell you who got it, or they don't know who got it, because it was somebody who was on the inside who know how to get it in.
Now, I'll believe that. Yeah, I'll believe that. They just don't want us to know who, but you're not going to make me believe they don't have no surveillance and they can't find out no kind of you ain't going to make me believe that, bro.
If Trump told him to cut off that, if he told him to cut off that camera, he said, cut off this camera, and all that other stuff happened and nobody turned that camera back on. Or that camera's been ordered to be off so they could run through.
I can believe that, though.
Yeah, but that's not what
I believe that goes on.
Yeah, we seen that in the movie. But in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, it kind of goes back to the whole, I think somebody mentioned the Minority Report earlier. I personally believe that there's really not too much that goes on, that if they really wanted the person who committed the crime, they couldn't somehow capture it. There are cameras everywhere now. So
everywhere.
I just don't believe that. I believe they just, I believe people get away with what they allow, that what the government or whoever allows us to get away with. You know what I mean?
So
Anytime they're ready to
or maybe they do a Bill Cosby, let you get away with it now, so they can bring it back to blackmail you. Maybe, or that's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to my main theory is that you really can't see everything.
Yeah, I think they kind of almost can.
Somebody can.
Somebody knows something.
Yes.
I agree. Somebody knows something,
Somebody
but
knows something.
I don't think they. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I think they can, but I think the thing with moving certain substances, there's ways to move it to where it's really like at the White House. They're not necessarily looking for substances. They're looking for more weapons and stuff like that. So you can move a certain product around and nobody know.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be the one trying to move it around up in there.
I didn't listen at all. After them 60 days, bro, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like Scarface. I do my dirt by my lonely.
That's right. There you go. And on that note of Mark doing dirt by his lonely, because we don't want him to have to put no time on Miss Scott. But
At all.
Again, we appreciate y'all for coming on and listening to us go over these hot topics. We will I'll be back Saturday with Smooth Saturdays. And we'll be back here next Thursday. I believe I'm gonna do next Thursday. Yeah, next Thursday with another topic. All right, y'all know how it goes. Kia, you want to tell the people anything?
Yeah, better getting your service-connected disability raised. Just hit me up. My email address is amari8402@gmail.com. So AMARI 8402@gmail.com.
Y'all better hit her up if y'all want that 100%.
Yeah.
She
It's
get
beautiful.
that 100% back.
It's tax-free.
Tax-free always sound good.
It's beautiful. I love not paying taxes legally.
All right, Mark, what you got to say to the folks?
Well, you can. I always love being on this platform with these beautiful people here and this wisdom. You can catch me on Wednesdays on I'm with a person doing an episode called Colorful Conversations, and Brown Roots Podcast is coming back for a 6th season this October. So just keep watching, keep supporting, keep listening, listen to learn and learn to listen.
There you go, brother man. All right, Dre.
Hey, you guys can catch me on the podcast, of course, Man Cave with Southside Dre. All platforms. You can catch it at Man Cave with Southside Dre or Man Cave Pod, Man Cave POD. All platforms. We just dropped the episode with me and you, Salih, a couple weeks back. It's been picking up a little traction. It's got a little hot here and there. So go check that episode out.
Got a little heat to it. Got a little steam coming off of it.
Absolutely. So yeah, go check that out. And if you're in the upstate South Carolina area, next Saturday the 22nd, we're doing Keep Him Lifted Black Men Summit. There at the TD Convention Center, I believe it is, in Spartanburg. That starts at 2:00. Some of those links will be on the pages as well. You can look for the Southside Dre or Southside Dre, wherever. But yeah, that's what we got going on, man.
Sounds wonderful. I appreciate y'all for coming up. We'll do it again next month, and we'll have some more hot topics to doggone post some water on. And with that being said, everybody have a wonderful night. Keep pressing forward. Keep being the beautiful people that you are, and change the world a little bit while you're at it.
Absolutely.
And I see you down there too, Cuzzo. Much love. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
Good night.